one thing which I remember from reading things related to you being a design manager, right? Which is you're actually managing teams across multiple countries, right? Now, what are like the challenges which comes there, like when you're working with teams across multiple countries? I'm not completely sure. My guess is like time zone definitely comes into play. If it's not the time zone, sometimes even the language barrier, right? So I would definitely love to know what these challenges are and how did you tackle them?
Mhm. So, I think I became a manager during the pandemic. So my experience mostly revolves around remotely managing people and international teams. I've never really managed just local teams. So my experience is very limited to that. But yeah, I think the biggest challenge is that I've never physically met over half of the people I'm managing. Um, because we hired a lot more people during the pandemic was going on, and before pandemic we used to travel to Jakarta and Singapore and all these other countries very very often. And the problem now is that I have to actually build trust online. And it's not impossible to do that, but it's very, very hard because when you meet someone face to face, you get to know them. It's a lot more easier than doing it online. And it's not just about them trusting me or me trusting them. It's about building the trust as a team and a feeling of belongingness, feeling of safety, because that is the environment where creativity can foster, right? You don't really want people to be scared to make mistakes or scared to take chances because they feel that something will go wrong or it will negatively impact their performance. So I think that has been a big challenge, and how I try to solve is that I try to be like that phone a friend lifeline for my team, and I just am available whenever they need me, and I have their back if anything goes wrong. I try to instill that confidence in them that if anything goes wrong, I am there with you, and you just go and explore and fly, and I'm here to have your back whenever you need me. So I think that sense of trust is what I've seen my managers put in me before, and I'm really thankful to that. Like even when I was moving from an IC to my manager actually um, really motivated me to do stuff. Really pushed me to go and make mistakes and try out things and see if it works for me or not. And without that support, I think it would have been very hard for me to take this plunge. But yeah, I think that is something which is one of the primary responsibilities of a manager as well. And I try to uh, be that the rock for my team as well. Um, Second thing, which I feel uh, to, because of managing international teams is like, and I think it fairly relates to local teams as well, is that not everyone is like you. Everyone has different motivations. Everyone has different inhibitions. They have different dreams. They have different ways to communicate. So everyone is not going to open up very easily or have the same way of communicating that they're happy or they're facing any challenge. So in my first few months as a manager, I used to feel that probably there are some people in my team who I'm not breaking through with, and probably they're not sharing things enough with me. Probably they didn't trust me enough, and I had this big imposter syndrome where I feel that I think I've been put in a position which is totally not uh, suited for me, or I'm not worthy of it. But yeah, I think my mentors and my managers taught me that it's not about that. Everyone communicates differently, and as a manager, you need to pick up on those subtle nudges on how someone is communicating that they're probably facing any difficulties or they're probably happy. Not everyone is going to come and give you a hug that hey, you're a great manager. You have to notice how these small things and the small gestures they do, and not everyone is also motivated the same way. Like there are people in my team who get motivated by say giving a very complex project because they like solving complex problems. There are people who get motivated by ownership, that hey, you go and you do this project yourself and you lead this thing, and they get really motivated by these things. And there are people who probably get motivated because they're gonna get to do a project with a friend or someone who they enjoy working with. So I think as a manager, you need to understand people, be it in the same country or be it in different geographies. And I have people all across the world now. We have one designer in Canada, one designer in South Korea, some in India, some in Indonesia. So yeah, it's spread across the globe, and I have to really understand them each as a person and then basically cater all the help or support I can give according to that. So yeah, that has been mostly my learnings. Probably one other thing which is more prominent in the national teams is that people who are not there where your product is operating don't really get to see the impact firsthand. And seeing that impact actually gives you a sense of purpose. Like I remember the first time when I went to Indonesia, I was going from the airport to my hotel, and as I approached the city, I saw so many Gojek drivers, those green helmets, those green jackets, and taking people somewhere. Some were picking up food, some were taking packages, and it gave me such a warm-hearted feeling that hey, wow, it's not just numbers that I'm moving. It's actually there are so many people who are getting affected by the things I'm designing, and it was really a overwhelming experience for me. And I want my designers in different countries to experience that as well, which the pandemic has made super hard. Earlier on, we used to travel a lot. So what we try now is that we make sure our designers talk a lot to our users so that they see that okay, there are real people behind the numbers that we're trying to move and the metrics we're trying to influence for the business. And our research team also helps with getting these stories out to the designers. And I think that has been very helpful to keep the team motivated and going on because they're actually making a difference in people's lives.
It was like really nice to know this, especially because like the just the culture aspect which you're describing about your team, just it feels so great. And at the same time, you have such a diverse team where you know everyone is spread across so many multiple countries. I mean that's just brilliant. Like it sounds like a dream team to me. With
Yeah.
especially the cultural aspects of the things where you talk about how you're making it uh, inclusive enough so that someone can come and like you know pitch in their feedback, things like that. It's really nice, especially of you as a manager to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Product Stories for more such episodes.